Fashion, food, fetishes and family. Phantom Thread is freaking fantastic. I'm sorry, I had to. Yo, बड़े दिनों के बाद I have found the discipline to sit down and write a long piece. Actually ना daring नहीं आ रही थी. Phantom Thread देखी, फिर पॉल थॉमस एंडरसन की फिल्मोग्राफी में घुस गई, फिर लगा कि कैसे अप्रिशिएट करूं मैं इसे. But I'm a track. There's a bunch of spoilers in here, so heads up. अब सब्सक्राइब करें, इस वीडियो को लाइक करें और फिर इसी वीडियो के एंड में बताऊंगी what else I have planned for this channel. I have things, I have plans. तो आपका लॉकडाउन खत्म हुआ या नहीं, आई डोंट नो. मेरा अभी भी 100% जारी है, which is good only because I'm catching up on a lot. 2017 की Phantom Thread is lead actor Daniel Day-Lewis's last film before he announced retirement from acting. For an actor like him to declare this movie his swan song is a big deal, and I went into this movie with a lot of expectations. But the thing about Phantom Thread is it will take your expectations and turn them upside down, toss all your preconceived notions out of the window, and then invite you in to watch. And if you behave yourself, you'll get to play along. We're in mid-50s Britain witnessing this story of Reynolds Woodcock, fashion designer and owner of the House of Woodcock. Extremely skilled at his job, his clients are rich, bougie and sometimes even royal. Designing bespoke dresses is what he's good at and what he's done his whole life. And after setting this up, the film then shows us that this is all he's capable of doing with any level of competence. Despite the story revolving around Reynolds Woodcock, a name as masculine as it can get, majority of the lead cast except Daniel Day-Lewis is female. Leslie Manville as his watchdog sister cum business manager Cyril, and Vicky Krieps as muse and love interest Alma Elson. Story में ज़्यादा नहीं जाऊँगी मैं क्योंकि I wanted to watch the film. I think Netflix से अब हट गई है, तो जैसे देखने मिले आप देखें, आपके ऊपर है. पर पूरी लाइटें, पर्दे, फोन सब बंद करके देखना because it is that kind of an immersive experience. And here are some of the many reasons why. Johnny Greenwood, this long-time collaborator of Paul Thomas Anderson, has scored this entire film, जिसके 130 मिनट के रन टाइम में 90 मिनट जॉनी ग्रीनवुड का म्यूजिक सुनाई देगा. Johnny Greenwood is the lead guitarist and keyboardist for Radiohead and is the look we kind of all wanted to achieve in 2005. Rock music aside, Johnny Greenwood has been scoring for Paul Thomas Anderson since There Will Be Blood, and for good reason. They clearly make a great team. Check out the documentary Junoon, playing exclusively on Mubi, about Greenwood's time in India recording an album while PTA recorded him recording said album. More on that later in this video. This Oscar-nominated movie score by design ebbs and flows and changes mellifluously with each camera movement throughout the film, woven along with each thread of the Woodcock dresses. Wordplay. Not to say that the music is all the film relies on. क्योंकि मेरा और काफियों का favorite scene इस film में is absolutely devoid of any music at all, right up till the last moments. The scene is in one shot. It's a long track in. Woodcock says to Alma, "Will you marry me?" In response to which Alma, who has just woken up, says, "Will you marry me?" Despite this scene providing a deeply personal insight into these two characters, it remains one shot. No cuts to faces, no emotional close-ups. The pace of the film hinges on this scene. The build-up to it has been perfect, not a hair out of place. So you don't want to disturb it. Both the characters on the screen are volatile people, it's been established, so you're creeping up on them slowly to hear this conversation closely without interruptions, like a fly on the wall, because we know how much Reynolds hates interruptions, especially when he's laser focused like he is in this moment. I suspect this is why Foley throughout the film feels extra sharp, because that's how Woodcock is experiencing each tiny sound, loud enough to break his train of thought. Daniel Day-Lewis makes this an immersive experience as well. Enough and more has been said about his acting styles and abilities. When you see an actor immerse, I know I need to stop saying this word, but immerse into a character and a director who knows what to do with it, you can't help but be sucked in and experience the film from within it. ये आदमी है डरा हुआ, थोड़ा अंधविश्वासी, और जैसे पॉल थॉमस एंडरसन की सारी फिल्मों में होता है, he too has unresolved issues with a parent. यहाँ पर it's his mom who's dead. एक सीन में Woodcock has a high fever. He's hallucinating and all his guards are down. This is him at his most vulnerable. So he sees his mother's apparition. वो दरवाजे के पास खड़ी है. वही वेडिंग ड्रेस पहनकर जो Woodcock ने डिजाइन करी थी presumably for her second marriage. Maybe he blames himself for designing that dress for her because her attention after that moment in her life went to her new husband away from her son, which is why this is how he remembers her. Frozen in time at a moment जिससे वो move past कर ही नहीं पाया. It's in this weak moment Alma walks into the room and tends to him. His confused, muddled mind replaces his mother with this new female who is now taking care of him. So he convinces himself he's in love with her and proposes as soon as he feels better, which happens in the slow track-in scene we were just talking about. But just like Daniel Day-Lewis is deep inside this character, the character himself has his head up so far his own backside. He doesn't realize he doesn't love Alma, but he loves the thought of someone who loves him and will take care of him and make him the center of their universe, like a mother. And you are in on this dramatic irony. The film wants you to see his undoing, that he's setting himself up for failure, a relationship which will never work. Because Alma is Frankenstein's monster. When Woodcock first meets her, it's a fluffy little meet cute at a restaurant. The kind of scene you'll find in many Paul Thomas Anderson films, by the way, the meeting at the restaurant. But while we are looking at the world from Woodcock's perspective, Alma presents herself as a mystery which begins to now unfold. A personality which neither us nor Woodcock have an accurate understanding of. If you've watched Phantom Thread already और समझ नहीं आया कि मूवी आखिर है किस बारे में, तो यहाँ आपको इस फिल्म के दो धागे मिलेंगे पकड़ के चलने के लिए. एक जिसको ओपनिंग सीक्वेंस से आपको बताया गया है that Reynolds like things done a certain way. Facial hair से लेकर romantic partners तक. He's selfish, self-absorbed and he'll suck you dry to fulfill his purpose. On this track, you see this larger-than-life character gradually brought under control and diminished like a lamp running out of fuel. दूसरा धागा है आल्मा की कहानी. A girl we know nothing about. कहाँ से आई, फैमिली में कौन है, कितने साल की है इत्यादि. But you see her gradually open up like a flower only to realize that the flower might look like an artist painted it into existence, but it is in fact poisonous. तो इस एक कहानी के ये दो प्लॉट लाइंस जितने खुद उलझते जाते हैं, आप अगर लाइट्स वगैरह बंद करके कंसंट्रेशन से देख रहे हो, क्लोजली फॉलो कर रहे हो ये दो प्रोग्रेशंस, तो आप नहीं उलझोगे. ट्राई करना. Now, coming to the film's rather unexpected gastric themes. लाइफ के दो फंडे हमें सिखाए गए हैं. अच्छा खाओ, अच्छा पहनो. Phantom Thread acknowledges and celebrates both. Woodcock जितना कपड़ों को लेकर पर्टिकुलर है, उतना ही खाने को लेकर भी, क्योंकि उसने ये मेहनत करके अचीव किया है the ability to be able to eat well, and he is proud of the food he gets to enjoy just the way he likes it because of his success. For Woodcock, breakfast is both the most important meal and most important hour of the day, which will dictate how his entire day will proceed. I can't begin my day with a confrontation, he says. When he first meets Alma, she's a waitress, and he exhibits his dominance by daring her to remember an unusually large breakfast order, assuming power straight away in this relationship, which will revolve and evolve around tea and food in such a wonderfully human and flawed way. You'll see. मैंने देखा नहीं है इतना अंडरप्लेड पर इतना पावरफुल सीन बहुत सालों में. आप YouTube करें The Hungry Boy. I mean, the scene has a name, guys. Among a lot of talk about various kinds of food, the most prominent is the tiny mushroom, an uninvited, unassuming fungus which when ready can mushroom overnight. Alma gathers mushrooms from the woods. She learns how to identify the poisonous ones, a skill she eventually uses when her relationship with Woodcock turns figuratively and literally toxic. She poisons him. He welcomes it, hereby turning the tables 180 from their first meeting at the restaurant. It's now her who controls him via her food choices. Mushroom also because they grow on dead and decaying matter, right? Which is a metaphor for Woodcock's profession as a designer, a field which is fast evolving. New trends are emerging, which his stuck-up ass refuses to keep up with. Another theme you'll see a lot of in Paul Thomas Anderson films, ill-advised grip on lost glory. The film revels in the nastiness of these characters, the quiet clash of egos between a scorned woman and an entitled man-child provides for disturbing yet deeply satisfying voyeuristic look at various manifestations of narcissism. Watching them destroy each other is almost a feel-good experience, knowing that you'll never behave as crazy as these two if you were in a similar situation. Look, you guys, I don't think I can properly encapsulate Phantom Thread in one short video. हो नहीं सकता, possibility नहीं है. मतलब I haven't even gone into the themes of matriarchy, the politics of clothes, perverse masochism, the dialogue. You could break down each scene for an hour-long mind-fuck conversation about everything that scene is saying. And I also think to attempt to fully appreciate Phantom Thread, one must go back to who Paul Thomas Anderson is and what are the things he speaks about through his storytelling. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed कि हर रोज I keep putting up some new story. Boogie Nights कहाँ देखूं, Magnolia कहाँ देखूं. Of all his films, सिर्फ मूवी पर जुनून स्ट्रीम हो रही है इंडिया में. बाकी सब जुगाड़ से देखनी पड़ेगी. But I have been watching all of them back to back. इसलिए up next, I will try. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but it will be an attempt to explore the cinematic universe of Paul Thomas Anderson. जिसके बाद You can come back to this video. It might make more sense. और मुझसे अकेले से ये होगा नहीं, बहुत बड़ा टास्क है, तो I'm gonna have a very special guest with me on that one. It's going to be Paul Thomas Anderson. You mad? जानने के लिए कौन है नेक्स्ट गेस्ट और क्या है और कैसे है, पहले तो इस वीडियो को लाइक करें जिससे मुझे पता चलेगा कि आपने देख लिया है, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. दूसरा, सब्सक्राइब करके जो घंटी होती है वहां पे बेल, उस पे क्लिक करें तो नोटिफिकेशन भी आ जाएगी. फिर मन करेगा तो शेयर कर लेना. यू नो, इट्स अ मार्क ऑफ हाउ डीपली अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड आई एम कि मैंने बड़े चाव से एक सेगमेंट शुरू तो की थी जो खुद ही मैं भूल गई उसके बारे में. रिलेशन में रिकमेंडेशन where I give suggestions on what else you can watch along with this movie. So not straying too far from where we are right now, Paul Thomas Anderson की There Will Be Blood अगर आपने नहीं देखी है तो Phantom Thread के एकदम बाद देखना. Not just to get to know the director better, but also to accurately be able to appreciate the genius of Daniel Day-Lewis and how with the same writer-director, he's able to present two distinctly original, amazing performances. Again, that's also not streaming anywhere in India, so jugaad. Okay, bye.